My boyfriend cheated with my mom. She blamed me for tempting him. Then my dad found out and chose the nuclear option. Now our family is permanently destroyed, and I'm the only one not in therapy. R/true off my chest. I walked in on my boyfriend and my mother in my childhood bedroom. When I confronted her, she told me it was my fault for not satisfying him properly. My dad found out, filed for divorce, and then things got so much worse than I ever imagined. This is the story of how one affair obliterated an entire family, ruined multiple lives, and left me questioning everything I thought I knew about the people who raised me. I need to get this out because I'm drowning. I'm 26 years old, and my entire life just imploded in the span of 3 weeks. I haven't slept more than 2 hours at a time since it happened. My therapist says writing it down might help, so here we are. 3 weeks ago, I had a boyfriend of 2 years named Marcus, a seemingly normal relationship with my parents, a younger brother I adored, and a pretty decent life. Today, I have none of those things. And it's all because I came home early from a work trip. Let me back up. Marcus and I met through mutual friends at a barbecue in the summer of 2022. He was charming, funny, had a good job in tech sales, and we just clicked. He wasn't perfect, who is? But he treated me well, remembered important dates, made me laugh, supported my career. We'd been talking about moving in together, maybe getting engaged. My mom, Karen, yes, really, had always been complicated. She was 48, looked 35, and made sure everyone knew it. Growing up, she was the hot mom that my friends' dads would stare at during school pickups. She thrived on male attention, constantly posted gym selfies on Instagram, and had this weird competitive thing with me that I'd learned to just ignore. When I got my first boyfriend at 16, she told me I should try harder with my appearance so he wouldn't leave me. When I got into grad school, she said, "That's nice, but don't become too educated. Men don't like that." When I got my first apartment, she walked through it and said, "Well, it's cozy, but Marcus will probably want somewhere bigger when you're married." Everything was a competition I didn't know I was in. My dad, Tom, was a software engineer who worked from home most days. Quiet, steady, devoted to my mom for 28 years. He worshipped her, genuinely thought he'd married up, and spent their entire marriage trying to keep her happy. My little brother Jake was 19, freshman in college, good kid. Marcus got along great with my family. Maybe too great. He and my mom would text about random stuff. She'd send him memes, he'd send back laughing emojis. They connected on LinkedIn. She commented on all his Facebook posts. My dad and I thought it was nice that everyone got along. Red flags look like regular flags when you're not looking for them. 2 months ago, Marcus started acting different. More distant. Always on his phone. Working late more often. The sex slowed down. Classic cheating signs, right? But when I asked if everything was okay, he'd say he was stressed about work and I was being paranoid. He'd flip it on me, say I was being clingy and insecure. So I backed off. Gave him space. Tried to be the cool girlfriend who didn't nag. God, I was so stupid. Last month, my mom started acting weird too. She'd gotten even more obsessive about her appearance. New clothes constantly, changed her hair, started dressing younger. My dad joked that she was having a midlife crisis. She was on her phone all the time, smiling at it, being secretive. When I'd visit their house, she'd sometimes disappear for errands that took hours. I thought maybe she was planning a surprise for my dad's birthday. It was coming up in December. 3 weeks ago, I went to Denver for a conference. Thursday through Sunday. I told Marcus I'd be back Sunday evening. I told my parents. Standard trip. Except Friday morning, the keynote speaker canceled, and they cut the conference short. I caught a flight home Friday afternoon instead, landing around 6 p.m. I texted Marcus that I was coming home early, but he didn't respond. Whatever, he was probably in a meeting. I got to my apartment around 7:30. Marcus's car wasn't in the parking lot, which was weird but not alarming. I figured he'd gone out with friends since he thought I was gone all weekend. I walked into my apartment and immediately knew something was wrong. There was a woman's jacket on my couch that wasn't mine. A purse I didn't recognize. Wine glasses in the sink. My bedroom door was closed. My hands started shaking. I opened the door. Marcus was in my bed with someone. They were under the covers, but there was no mistaking what was happening. And then the woman turned around. It was my mother. My mom. In my bed. With my boyfriend. I don't remember screaming, but I must have because suddenly they were both scrambling to cover themselves. Marcus was saying, "Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit," and my mom was reaching for her clothes and I was just frozen. My brain couldn't process what I was seeing. It was like looking at one of those optical illusions where your eyes see one thing but your brain can't make sense of it. "Get out," I finally managed to say. "Both of you, get the fuck out." Marcus was pulling on his pants, stammering apologies that sounded like they were underwater. But my mother looked at me with this expression I'd never seen before. Cold. Almost annoyed that she'd been caught. "Calm down," she said. "Calm down." Like I'd walked in on her doing something mildly embarrassing, not fucking my boyfriend in my bed. "Are you insane?" I was crying now, ugly crying, hyperventilating. "What is wrong with you?" She was getting dressed, taking her time. "We need to talk about this rationally." "Rationally? You slept with my boyfriend. In my bed. How long?" I couldn't even finish the question. My whole body was shaking. Marcus tried to approach me. "Baby, please let me explain." "Don't call me that. Don't come near me." "How could you?" And then my mom said something that I will never, ever forget for as long as I live. "Maybe if you'd been taking care of him properly, he wouldn't have needed to look elsewhere." I'm not kidding. She actually said that. Blamed me for her sleeping with my boyfriend. I lost it. Completely lost it. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I know it involved a lot of screaming and cursing and calling her every name I could think of. I threw them both out. Literally threw my mom's purse into the hallway and slammed the door. Then I collapsed on my living room floor and sobbed for 2 hours. Around 10 p.m., I called my best friend Emma. Told her everything through broken sobs. She came over immediately with wine and ice cream and hugs and told me she was going to help me destroy them both. But first I needed to tell my dad. I couldn't do it. Not that night. I was too shattered. The next morning, Saturday, I woke up to 47 missed calls and texts from Marcus. All variations of, "I'm sorry. It meant nothing. Please let me explain. I love you. It was a mistake." I blocked him. My mom had texted too. "We need to talk about this like adults. You're overreacting. Call me." I almost threw my phone across the room. Then there was a text from my dad. "Your mother says you two had a fight. Everything okay?" A fight. She told him we'd had a fight. Not that she'd been screwing my boyfriend. I knew I had to tell him, but I didn't know how. How do you tell your father that his wife of 28 years is a cheater? That she betrayed not just him, but their daughter? Emma convinced me I had to do it in person. So Saturday afternoon, I drove to my parents' house. My mom's car was in the driveway. I almost turned around, but my dad deserved to know. He answered the door with a smile. "Hey, sweetie. Your mom said you came home early. How was the conference?" I couldn't do small talk. "Dad, we need to talk." "Is mom here?" "In the bedroom." "Want me to get her?" "Yeah, get her. You both need to hear this." He looked confused but called her down. She came down the stairs, and the second she saw me, her face went hard. She knew. She knew I was about to tell him. "Tom, she's here to cause drama." "Shut up," I said. My voice was eerily calm. "Dad, sit down." He sat on the couch, looking between us, clearly worried now. "Dad, I came home early yesterday. I walked into my apartment and found Marcus in my bed." I paused. With Mom, the silence was deafening. My dad just stared at me. "What?" "Your wife has been sleeping with my boyfriend. I caught them yesterday." My mom started talking fast. "Tom, she's being ridiculous. I went over to drop something off and she misunderstood what she saw." I didn't misunderstand anything. I was yelling now. "You were having sex with him in MY bed. And then you told me it was MY fault for not satisfying him." My dad looked at my mom. His face had gone completely white. "Karen?" She changed tactics. Started crying. "Tom, I made a mistake. I was confused. He came on to me and I didn't know what to do. How long? My dad asked quietly. Tom. How long? I'd never heard my father yell like that in my life. My mom wiped her eyes. 2 months. 2 months. 8 weeks. While I was planning a future with Marcus. While my dad was working from home, thinking everything was fine. While my mom was texting me asking how my relationship was going, giving me advice about men, pretending to be my mother. My dad stood up. He didn't say anything. Just walked upstairs to their bedroom and closed the door. My mom turned on me. Are you happy now? You've destroyed this family. I destroyed it? I'm not the one who fucked my daughter's boyfriend. You're so dramatic. It was just sex. Men have needs. If you'd been more attentive to Marcus, this never would have happened. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. She genuinely thought she was the victim here. That somehow I was to blame for her choices. You're sick, I said. Actually sick. What kind of mother does this? The kind who's honest about what men really want. You've always been so naive about relationships. I tried to teach you. By sleeping with my boyfriend? My dad came back downstairs carrying a suitcase. He looked at my mom. Pack your things. I want you out by tonight. Tom, please. 28 years, Karen. 28 years. I gave you everything. Supported you, loved you, put you first in every single decision we made. And you do this? To me? To our daughter? He turned to me. His eyes were red. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. I'm so sorry. I started crying again. Dad, I'm sorry. I should have told you differently.
No.
Don't apologize. You did nothing wrong. He looked back at my mom with pure disgust. She did. My mom tried everything. Tears, anger, bargaining, blaming. She said she'd go to therapy. It would never happen again. Marcus had seduced her. I had pushed Marcus away. My dad was neglecting her, on and on. Every excuse in the book except taking actual responsibility. My dad didn't budge.
Out. Tonight.
I'm filing for divorce Monday morning. She left around 9 p.m. I stayed with my dad that night. We didn't talk much. Just sat together while his entire life fell apart. My brother Jake came home from college Sunday morning after my dad called him. When he heard what happened, he punched a hole in the wall and hasn't spoken to our mother since. That was 3 weeks ago. Since then, it's been an absolute nightmare. Marcus tried to contact me through mutual friends. Sent letters to my apartment. Showed up at my work until security escorted him out. He kept insisting it was just a mistake, that my mom had come on to him, that he loved me, and we could work through this. I sent him one text. You're 28 years old. She's 48. She didn't seduce you. You're both disgusting. Lose my number. My mom rented an apartment and has been on a PR campaign ever since. She's telling relatives that I misunderstood what I saw, that my dad is overreacting, that she made one small mistake, and we're all being cruel. Some relatives believe her. Some have cut her off. My family is completely divided. She called me last week crying, begging me to tell my dad to reconsider the divorce. Said I was destroying her life and punishing her for one error in judgment. I told her she destroyed her own life the moment she decided my boyfriend was fair game. Then I blocked her number. The divorce is moving forward. My dad is devastated but determined. He's seeing a therapist.
So is Jake. So am I.
We're all in separate therapy trying to process this. But here's where it gets worse. Last week, my dad's lawyer did some digging for the divorce proceedings. Turns out Marcus wasn't the first. My mom had been having affairs throughout their entire marriage. Multiple affairs. She'd been careful, hotel rooms paid in cash, burner phones, the works. But once lawyers got involved and started pulling financial records, it all came out. My dad had been faithful for 28 years to a woman who'd been cheating on him with random men for over 2 decades. When he told me, I threw up. Just dropped to my knees and vomited right there in his kitchen. My entire childhood was a lie. Every family vacation, every holiday, every I love you from my mother, all of it was fake. She was living a double life and none of us knew. Jake found out, and had a complete breakdown. Had to take medical leave from college. He's back home with my dad, barely functioning. He keeps saying he doesn't know who his mother is. None of us do. My mom found out that we know about the other affairs. Her response? She called me screaming that we had no right to investigate her, that her private life was none of our business, and that we were all ganging up on her. I hung up on her. I haven't spoken to her since. But the fallout keeps spreading. Marcus's family found out why we broke up. His mom called me to apologize and say they raised him better. They're horrified.
Good.
They should be. My extended family is torn apart. My mom's sister sided with her, called me vindictive for not forgiving a mistake. My dad's brother called my mom something I won't repeat here and said she's dead to him. Thanksgiving last week was at my aunt's house, my dad's side only. My mom's side had their own Thanksgiving. Our family is literally split in two. My mom tried to show up at Thanksgiving. My uncle physically blocked the door and told her to leave or he'd call the police. She left crying and posted on Facebook about how her cruel family abandoned her during the holidays. The comments were mixed. Some people defended her. Most didn't. I'm barely holding it together. I can't sleep. I've lost 15 pounds. I had to take FMLA leave from work because I kept having panic attacks at my desk. My therapist says I'm dealing with complex trauma, betrayal from both a romantic partner and a parent at the same time. The worst part? Some people are actually defending her, saying everyone makes mistakes, that I'm being too harsh, that I should forgive my mother because family is family. But here's what I keep coming back to. She blamed me. Not just for Marcus cheating, she blamed me for her choice to sleep with him. She looked at me, her daughter, devastated and crying, and told me it was my fault that my boyfriend needed to cheat. What kind of mother does that? I don't think I'll ever have a relationship with her again. How could I? How do you come back from that? How do you sit across from someone at Christmas dinner who slept with your boyfriend and then blamed you for it? My dad is selling the house. Too many memories. He's moving into a condo in January. Jake is transferring colleges to somewhere closer to home. I'm looking into moving across the country, maybe Seattle or Portland, just to get away from all of this. Marcus moved to Austin last week. Ran away like the coward he is. My mom is alone in her apartment. My dad told me she calls him crying every night, begging him to take her back. He won't. He can't. Even if he wanted to, he said he looks at her now and sees a stranger. Someone he never really knew. I saw her at the grocery store yesterday. We made eye contact across the produce section. She opened her mouth like she was going to say something. I turned around and walked out without buying anything. I don't know if I'm looking for advice or validation or what. I just needed to get this out. To tell someone, anyone, that this happened. That my family imploded because my mother is a narcissist who couldn't keep her hands off my boyfriend. People keep asking me if I'm okay. I say yes because that's what you're supposed to say. But I'm not okay. I don't know if I'll ever be okay again. 3 weeks ago, I had a family. Now I have a traumatized father, a broken brother, and a mother I can't stand to look at. And the worst part? She still doesn't think she did anything wrong. She called my dad yesterday. He didn't answer, but she left a voicemail saying we're all being overdramatic and cruel and she deserves forgiveness. Forgiveness. For sleeping with my boyfriend. In my bed. And then blaming me for it. I don't think I'm capable of that level of forgiveness. Maybe that makes me a bad person. Maybe I'm supposed to be the bigger person and let it go. But I can't. I won't. She destroyed our family for an affair with someone half her age who is dating her daughter. She looked me in the eye and told me it was my fault. And now she wants forgiveness?
No.
I'm done. I don't have a mother anymore. Update. 2 days later, holy hell, I didn't expect this post to blow up like this. I'm trying to read through all the comments, but there are thousands. Thank you to everyone who's been supportive. To those saying I'm being too harsh or need to forgive her, respectfully, unless you've been through this exact situation, you don't get an opinion. Some people asked for more details. Here's what's happened since I posted. My mom found this post. Don't ask me how, but she did. She called me screaming about airing family business online and threatening to sue me for defamation. I told her truth is an absolute defense and hung up. She then made her own Facebook post. No kidding. Posted this long rant about how she's the victim of a cruel family conspiracy and that I'm lying about what really happened to turn people against her. She claimed Marcus and I had broken up and she was comforting him, and I misinterpreted the situation. Multiple family members who saw the post sent me screenshots asking what the actual hell is wrong with her. Her story doesn't even make sense. She's changed it 3 times now. My dad's lawyer is using her Facebook post in the divorce. Apparently, her denying the affair publicly while admitting it in divorce mediation is going to destroy her credibility in court. Good. Marcus tried to contact me again. Sent a long email saying he's in therapy and realizes what he did was wrong and wants closure. I marked it as spam. Some people suggested I press charges or sue. I talked to a lawyer. Apparently, there's no criminal charge for being a terrible person. The lawyer said my dad has grounds to sue Marcus for alienation of affection since we're in a state that still has that law, but dad doesn't want to drag it out. He just wants the divorce finalized and to never see her again. Jake is seeing a new therapist who specializes in family trauma. He's doing better, but still won't say our mom's name. Just calls her Karen now. My dad had his first date last week. Didn't go anywhere, but he said it felt good to remember he's allowed to move on. I'm proud of him. I'm still a mess, but I'm functioning. Started working from home, which helps. My company has been incredible about it all. To everyone sharing their own stories of family betrayal in the comments, I see you. I'm sorry you went through it too. It's a special kind of pain that people who haven't experienced it just don't understand. And to the handful of people defending my mom or saying, everyone makes mistakes. Sleeping with your daughter's boyfriend isn't a mistake. It's a choice. Multiple choices, over 2 months, every single time they got together. Miss me with that forgiveness BS. Update 2, 1 week later. Okay, one more update because things have gotten insane. My mom showed up at my apartment yesterday. Don't know how she got past building security, but suddenly she was banging on my door at 9 p.m. yelling for me to let her in. I didn't. I called the cops. She was screaming through the door that I was ruining her life, that the divorce is my fault, that I need to fix this with my dad. She was drunk. Really drunk. Police showed up and escorted her out. I filed for a restraining order this morning. The hearing is next week. When my dad found out, he broke down crying. Not sad crying, angry crying. He said he didn't recognize her anymore. That the woman he married would never have done any of this. His therapist told him he's grieving the loss of someone who never really existed. That's heavy. Marcus's ex-girlfriend from before me reached out. Turns out he cheated on her too. With a friend's mom. This is apparently his thing. He has a pattern. I feel disgusted that I ever touched him. My mom's sister, the one who defended her, called my dad to apologize. She talked to mom and realized mom's story kept changing. She's cut mom off now too. Mom is truly alone now. Some extended family is planning an intervention for my mom. I told them not to include me. I'm done. She made her choices. She can live with them. I'm moving to Portland. Found a job. Put in notice at my current company, flying out next month to apartment hunt. I need a fresh start somewhere nobody knows the story. My therapist says I'm making progress. I disagree, but whatever. I can get out of bed now and shower regularly, so I guess that's progress. Final thought. Someone commented that my mom is probably a narcissist. I looked up the diagnostic criteria. She fits almost every single marker. Lack of empathy, need for admiration, grandiose sense of self-importance, exploiting others for personal gain, inability to take responsibility. That actually helps somehow. Understanding that she's literally incapable of seeing what she did wrong. That her brain doesn't work like normal people's brains. It doesn't excuse it, but it explains it. Still not forgiving her though. TLDR, caught my boyfriend cheating with my mom in my bed. She blamed me for not satisfying him. Told my dad he filed for divorce. Found out she'd been having affairs their entire marriage. Family is destroyed. She still thinks she's the victim. I'm moving across the country to escape this nightmare. To anyone reading this who's going through something similar, you're not alone. It's not your fault. And you're allowed to cut toxic people out of your life, even if they're family. Especially if they're family. Blood doesn't excuse betrayal.